just taking a break. The countdown clocks have started. Fight songs pass the time. The days may run together, but you know that in our mind it's always Saturday. Take me back to Saturday. Saturday. Give me those 12 Saturdays. Spot the ball. March Madness is a blast, and we love baseball games. But nothing beats the feeling of having a killer slate of games. It's always Saturday. Take me back to Saturday. Saturday. Dreaming of all Saturdays. Spot the ball. Spot the ball. Oh, college football. Sat out your day.
For the small, lay a big hit and pass a kick ball. This game is for us all. From Seattle down toward the Keys, this game is you, this game is me. Cats, dogs, and steer, be the tree. This game is America, so sing it loud with me. College football forever. College football forever. Downtown LA, Starkville City. 1 week you're up next, take a dip. Run the rock or let it rip. This game is America. All say, can you sing it with me?
We just stepped on her face with a hot-tail Luginbill off her nose. Whoa, Nelly!
College football forever. College football forever. College football forever. College football forever.
College football is a year-round discussion with these two. Here's JC and Morgan. Mike Morgan of ESPN and JC Sherbert of 24/7 Sports have you covered. Beginning right now.
And a good morning. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on for another installment of JC and Morgan, powered by Advocare and Advocare.com. I'm already juiced up on my typical spark. JC, can I mention what you're about to embark upon from a medical standpoint personally, or is that too personal?
I've already told our entire South Carolina audience. May
All
as
right,
well
yeah, so
go on with it.
JC's getting the big C. When is it? Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, dude. Around this time, I'll be heading over to the hospital.
Are you already taking the liquid? That's tonight.
Starts
right?
at 1.
Yeah, okay.
Right after my shows.
Oh, that's going to be just fun.
Yeah. The wife drove herself into work today. It's about a 30-minute drive, and I was like, well, it could get ugly.
Yeah.
That's not chocolate pudding, man.
No. That's the most painful part. You don't even, the actual procedure, they put you out and shoot, you don't even know what happened. You just wake up like, did someone take advantage of me? And hopefully the answer is no.
I got one in my early 30s and I was living in Columbia, South Carolina. And they basically said, you just go to Hawaii for like an hour. It's an do you pronounce it endoscopy? And they're sticking one in my throat too. I have acid reflux, so I haven't really been able to eat anything spicy all week because I had to get off my acid reflux medication as well. But it's been about a 40-day period of health. No beer since July 5th. Working out at the gym.
No beer
since July 5th, brother. I mean, you can't really try to get in shape and lose weight and drink.
True.
Because of the hangover. Unless you played organized basketball in your 40s,
that helps.
Like you do. That's organized basketball is good for you, but
burns a lot of that bourbon.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm surviving. It's probably not going to be as bad. I just don't want to, early on, like in my 30s, I was just like, oh, this sucks. I just don't want to find anything because when you're coming down off that medicine, you're a little high, and I can't imagine delivering bad news. You got something here we got to check out while I'm kind of under the influence of those drugs. I thought that the first time. I was like, that's going to be horrible. Yeah. So a little nervous about that, but certainly glad to be here today talking college football. And if I have to get up all of a sudden once Lugs comes on, y'all will know why.
No. Okay, fair enough. I'm sure the good now. Will be good. This is they've lowered I've only had it once. They've lowered the recommended age, I think, to either early 40s or 45. I didn't waste any time. The moment I met the minimum threshold, I did it, and then you're good for like 10 years. But the reason I made that connection is not to begin the show with JC's bowels, although that is a ratings grabber. But as I was thinking of Advocare and Advocare.com, and if you mention the promo code Mike Morgan, you get 20%. I take Spark every morning. That's like my coffee without coffee, and it's nutrients, and there's no sugar, so you don't crash. But this is something I also take, and I recommend. This is a probiotic, which when you're talking about the stuff that JC's about to go through, it's called Harmony. It tastes good. You drink it, and its gut health is actually like really significant. If you listen to the new age doctors, they'll tell you, man, if you're going to do something, take care of your gut, which I know does not sound appetizing, but it's a good idea. So it's a probiotic, and it's one of the many products that they have on Advocare.com. Again, delivered to your door. Use promo code Mike Morgan. Save yourself 20%. Okay, so Lugs will be with us at 10 o'clock, one of our favorite guests for a long time.
He's actually in.
He's already in?
Yeah, according to the Mad Dog secure
chat
line here.
He wanted to get a little insight on your colonoscopy coming up. So he's like, I'm going to jump on early to hear that. But so we'll have Lugs on in just mere moments, and then the JC5 later on. Lots to get to. I will tell you, to get my fix here lately on ESPNU of all things, they've been rerunning Football in the South, which is like a 10-part documentary. It's really, really well done. I saw it when it aired in 2019, but I watched it again, and it's fascinating. I mean, they go back to like when Sewanee was in the SEC, and teams were riding trains, and players were getting literally killed on the gridiron, which is why the NCAA was really formed in the first place. I mean, it was the sport was ridiculously dangerous. But so that was my fix. But now we don't have to go there anymore. We actually are going to have games to talk about. We'll talk about that and other things with Lugs. We're still in a no portal, NIL, salary cap zone. We're staying away from the economics of college football, and we're just talking about ball. Damn it, that's the way it should be this time of year. So, Mad Dog, if you want to bring in Lugs, there's no time like the present. We can do that and talk ball with the man.
There he is.
What the hell did I step into?
I know. Well, choice of words, but yes, you stepped into a health update from Sherb Nation. And
you okay, buddy?
Oh, yeah. I got to have a colonoscopy tomorrow.
How old are you?
I'm prepping. I'm 48. I had one back when I was working with you back in 2009. I just had like some constipation and stuff, and my doctor was like, let's just do it. And so I've had one before, but it's time to get it going again.
I had my first one 2 years ago.
It's not.
And trust me, the prep is the worst part.
By far.
But you are going to feel like $1 million when you come out of that thing.
As I said, you go to Hawaii for 2 hours.
I was just talking about gut health. That's the way to do it. Just completely empty out your gut.
Yeah, my goodness, man. You know what's weird about so the prep? So are you doing the pills or the juice, the drink?
The juice, the Gatorade Miralax cocktail.
Okay, so I did the same thing. Well, for like 4 hours, nothing happened.
Yeah, it's delayed.
So I'm like, what is going on? Why is everybody telling me that the sky's going to fall here? And then when it happens,
it's like you break the seal.
Holy smokes, dude.
Big time.
Yeah. But you got to do it, man. Men are stubborn. They don't want to take care of themselves. If something's wrong, they won't go to the doctor. It's like, it's so dumb.
We've never done a PSA on this show, and I feel like we did our part. We saved lives here in the first few minutes.
Hey, well, let me tell you a story about my father. So my dad just had major open heart surgery. Okay. Do you guys remember Tim Russert and John Ritter and Robert Palmer and all of them just drop into the ground?
Aortic dissection. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Okay. So like less than 5% of the people who have that even make it to the ambulance alive. You're done, right? There's no symptoms. You don't see it coming. It's not tied to high blood pressure or anything of that stuff. It just happens. So about 10 years ago, my parents live in Arizona, but they lived in the summers in Breckenridge, Colorado. So they would go up every summer for 4 or 5 months. My dad goes up there about 10 years ago, the last year they were there. And he noticed it generally takes about 3 to 5 days to acclimate to the altitude, because at the base of Breckenridge, it's like 10,000 feet. So he noticed after about a week or two, like he wasn't acclimating. And he was like, something's not right. And so he went to my mom and she goes, you know what, just go to a doctor locally here. Let's get this checked out. So he decides to do it. Thank goodness. And they do an EKG, doesn't even show up, nothing. And this doctor up there goes, you know what, let me just do an ultrasound just in case. Does an ultrasound, comes back in the room and says, you need to get your ass back to Phoenix right now. Because if you have what I think you have, this has to be addressed like ASAP. Just so happens I have Arizona State and USC that week in Tempe. So me, my twin sister, my mom, my dad go see this cardiothoracic surgeon or what have you. And he walks in and he looks at my dad and he goes, I've probably seen 5 of you in 30 years alive.
Ooh.
He goes, we don't see it. He goes, it's correctable. We just don't get to perform it very often because nobody, when it happens, it's over. And so fast forward, the way they first start to treat it is they measure it and they measure it, and he would go in every quarter and get it measured. And if it expanded, they knew that was a problem. So he doesn't, for almost 9 years on all of his reports, it doesn't expand. And then they went in this past, I think it was April, and they walked in the office and said, it's time. It finally expanded. So he went in May and had it corrected. But had he not gone, like my mom told him to, you would have never known about it. And he asked the doctor, he goes, well, what happened? And the doctor goes, you were in altitude. If you hadn't been in altitude, you would have never caught it.
Wow. Is this the one they call the Widowmaker?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I've heard about this. I know people that have unfortunately.
And there's no way of knowing.
Right.
Like that's the thing. It's crazy. So if you feel something's not right, go to the doctor.
Yeah. Jeez. In the B block, we'll talk cardiograms.
Yeah. Look how many people we just saved today.
We're just, we do the will of the people here.
Karma.
Exactly. We could break down college football till we're blue in the face, but if you're not alive to see the games,
that's right. If you're loopy from your colonoscopy,
that's right. We try not to put the cart in front of the horse here on JC and Morgan. Goodness gracious. Well, with those sobering thoughts and the season about to begin in earnest, week 0, week 1 coming up, I was thinking about you looking at the schedule and breaking down a number of games. There's obviously the high-profile games, and I love looking at kind of that next tier. Mm-hmm. But you're going to be heavily involved in ACC again, correct?
Actually, no. I'm going to be in the booth Thursday night ESPN.
Right.
For the game. And then during the week, I will be doing ACC Network, College Football Live, Sports Center hits, and on the weekends going up to Bristol and doing ACC Network studio all day Saturday and a 2-hour show Friday night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations on that. It's still germane to my question, which was ACC oriented.
Yeah.
Which we don't always lead with on this show.
I'll be doing a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you still do college football live, right?
Every Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep. I enjoy that show. I think
it's a fun show.
It gets lost in the shuffle.
I don't know why I have no idea why we don't do it all the time year round.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if Paul Feinbaum can do 4 hours a day, you guys could do an hour a day, and you guys talk national picture stuff.
Above my pay grade.
Above you and me both. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking: week 1,
mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this from the ACC standpoint, which very few people do on national shows. But I'm going to start off with a little ACC vibe, and I'm looking at Clemson, LSU, FSU, Alabama, Miami, Notre Dame, Syracuse, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Colorado. I mean, I'm looking at all these games, and I'm like, this is kind of a referendum right off the bat for the ACC, is it not?
Absolutely. This is a narrative-changing weekend. These games are so important for that conference. And trust me, it's not lost on them. They know. I mean, the coaches know. Brent Key knows. Mike Norvell, they know. The issue is with a lot of those games is, all right, Clemson's probably better. I think Georgia Tech's better than Colorado. Florida State, I don't think, is better than Alabama. Be interesting to see what happens with Miami, Notre Dame, right? But they've got to win some of those games, man. I mean, that's it. And it's interesting too, because like the AP poll came out, and now everybody's like bringing out their poll, right? And if you're just like preseason prognosticating, that's all you're doing. You just take the definitives that we know right now on paper with the rosters that are in front of us, and you say, okay, what are the important traits you got to have to win a national championship? How in the world does the AP poll not have Clemson number 1 in the country? They have NFL difference makers.
Yeah.
At every single, it's the most complete returning roster in all of college football. When you look at all 3 levels on defense, and you look at who they are on offense, it's I don't understand that.
What if Cade Klubnik's name was Arch Manning?
Right.
But maybe that's the difference. I mean, look, I'm high on Texas, but I get your point. The Clemson 2 deep this is one of Dabo's best teams in a while.
Absolutely. And it was built through depth and retention and reinvesting NIL in their own players. Like, everybody's telling him you're an idiot. You got to join the rest of the crowd. And he's like, no, that's not how we're going to do this. And now he, like you said, he's probably got his best team since 2019.
And the portal guys they have a receiver they got from Southeast Missouri State.
Southeast
6'6".
Yep.
They don't have a 6'6" receiver. They had great receivers, but they didn't have a guy like that.
No,
Kevin Alexander from Alabama has a chance to be good. And then I love the DN from Purdue. Purdue's been god awful. I mean, let's not twist it, but not that guy.
Yeah,
I mean, A&M got a kid from Purdue last year. He's preseason All-American.
Yeah.
I'm with you, and I think more people that actually analyze the game and know it and respect it. Phil Steele feels the same way. Just to say, they're going to start rewarding some of these returning teams that are intact, because transition doesn't always help. It doesn't. No. Most of the time, it's not going to be positive. So
it hurts. Yeah,
I'm with you right there. What do you think about Virginia Tech? I went back and watched Drones as 2 years ago, and then last year he's dealing with some injuries. A lot of new faces in Blacksburg. Folks I talked to around there, they're pretty confident that they're going to have a better team, at least culturally. I like some of the lower level guys they brought in, but they are replacing a lot of players. Your thoughts about them? I think the line on that game with South Carolina has dropped to a 7.5 point spread.
Yeah, this is a make it or break it year for Brent Pry, and I love Brent Pry, and I think he's trying to do the best job that he possibly can. I just don't know how good of a job that is in today's era. I think it's a hard job. And, the quarterback has been incredibly streaky. When he's good, he's really good. But when he's bad, it's really bad. And then what's been puzzling to me is how bad their game management has been. The decisions on the sideline of managing games late in games. You could make the same criticism of Miami. They've been hampered with that a little bit. I look at the schedule. I think they probably have a 6-6 team, but maybe could sneak out another one. I'm not as high on Virginia Tech. If you're asking me about a team in that conference that nobody's talking about that traditionally plays their ass off, it's NC State. NC State has almost everybody back, and that quarterback is a friggin' dude. And you guys watched enough of NC State to know that when everybody's talking about them in the offseason, and then when nobody's talking about them, they come out and it's like, whoa, okay. Which means in 2026, that's exactly what's going to happen. And it'll be so it's just, the topic I wanted to hit on with you guys too, because you mentioned Kyron Drows. We talked about Cade Klubnik. You brought up Arch Manning. I don't know if I've seen better returning quarterback play in college football in 20 years that we have in 2025.
I'm with you. I brought up this point the other day, and I was admittedly just looking at it first from the SEC standpoint. And I think this can be one of the strongest years of SEC quarterbacking. And before the SEC homer crowd kicks in, let me just say this. I pointed out, Lugs, last year was a major disappointment for a lot of the SEC quarterbacks.
Of course. Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, you can make the argument Quinn Ewers did a lot of good things. And he was hurt a lot. But I thought overall, Quinn Ewers never got that much better. So you could make an argument there. He was disappointing. Carson Beck was immensely disappointing in so many ways. Obviously, Jalen Milroe, particularly second half of the season, incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go down the list.
Sure.
Like for every Nussmeier and Lenora Sellers, there were guys that were really disappointing. But this year, I think this is the year of the redemption for a lot of SEC quarterbacks. And to your point, you could extrapolate that nationally.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, just from an SEC perspective, John Mateer, I think, is going to help Oklahoma. That's an upgrade. We're all hoping that Arch Manning is as advertised at Texas. You've got Garrett Nussmeier, as you mentioned. Even the brief glimpses we saw of Gunnar Stockton, he looks promising, right? Lenora Sellers is an absolute difference maker, right? DJ Lagway has a chance to be a difference maker, schedule notwithstanding. I don't know about any of you guys, but would you have wanted to play Florida last year in the last 4 weeks of the season?
No.
They were a friggin' problem, right?
Yeah. And Ole Miss.
Yeah, and LSU.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think the SEC is going to be better, but you want to know the conference top to bottom. I said this on the next round with Ryan Brown and Dunaway and Lance and those guys yesterday, and they looked at me like I had three heads. Top to bottom, look at the quarterbacks in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Lenore Sellers is not. If you look top to bottom in the Big, that's the best quarterback conference in college football. So you got what? You got Sam Levitt at Arizona State.
Love him.
Avery Johnson at Kansas State.
Okay.
Great.
Rocco Becht at Iowa State.
Like him a lot.
Jalen Daniels at Kansas.
Oh, stud.
Sawyer Robertson at Baylor.
Love
Came
him.
on last year.
Josh Hoover at TCU.
Good.
Haven't seen enough. Okay.
Really the only, and depending if it's Juju Lewis or Caden Salter at Colorado, they may have one. Really the only teams that you're looking at, you're kind of scratching your head. Noah Fafita's at Arizona. So Oklahoma State's got to find a guy. And if Baron Morton stays healthy at Texas Tech, I think he's got a chance to be a guy. But that entire conference, top to bottom, the returning production in the Big 12 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Right. And that's a key phrase, returning production.
Yes.
I'm always going to gamble on that first.
No question. That's what I think so interesting, too, about look at how many blue bloods in college football are replacing their quarterback this year.
Right.
Michigan, Ohio State, Texas. You could say Oklahoma. But, like, there's a lot of Florida State has to replace their quarterback. Alabama has to replace their quarterback. Georgia has to replace their quarterback. I mean, these are all teams that everybody just says, oh, they're a college football playoff team. But we don't know the answer at quarterback yet.
Yeah, I think they say that because the cheat code is that with the exception of Michigan, and we know about Underwood and the 5 stars and everything else and the hype, almost every other team you mentioned there has a portal guy who's already been a starter who's been productive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the cheat code.
That's how you bridge the gap, right? Carson Beck at Miami, John Mateer at Oklahoma, but that's not the case yet. Like Julian's saying, he hasn't. He has. We don't know yet. That's why that's right now. That's why everybody's so high on Penn State, and I get it, and I understand. But at the end of the day, you can say all you want about Penn State until they beat somebody that is ranked above them or equal to them and win a meaningful game. It's just going to be what Penn State is.
I think Penn State, and I know they've been good on defense, and it's been a struggle on offense. I think Jim Knowles, that was everybody kind of celebrated the hire, but I look back at, and I mentioned this last week, of what that guy did at Oklahoma State.
Oh my goodness!
In the Big 12 with Mike Gundy, call it play. I mean, dude, that's a ball coach right there. I mean, Tom Allen's a great D coordinator as well, but if you could upgrade that defense in any way, I think he can. That's one of the reasons I like Penn State. It's not necessarily because of Drew Aller, but and it feels like a do or die year for them too. Not do or die, but that's their time, right?
Well, it's their time because when you look at the teams that are supposed to be competing with them in the conference, they're all replacing their quarterback,
right?
So, and they're not. So, and listen, to your point, Mike, that you got to give that credence. That has to take precedence over somebody that has an unknown at this point.
And they're loaded all around him. They don't have to rely on Drew Aller to put up Heisman numbers to actually play for a championship.
Yeah,
that's the luxury they have in Happy Valley. And the James Franklin question is going to be, if not now, when? If not this year. And it's not like last year was a bust. His winning percentage is great. You can't put him on the hot seat. But at some point, and I can't remember I think it was Nicole Auerbach that quoted it, the record versus Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, it's woeful. It's 4-16, something ridiculous. That's just not good enough over there.
By the way, you just mentioned Oregon. How about them? They're going from 12 years of college football experience between Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel, 2 guys collecting AARP, to Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Right. And Dante's talented and everything, but you don't just replace that, man.
No.
that's
Gabriel was a really good college quarterback. I don't care if he ever throws a pass in the NFL.
Great college quarterback.
He was he was perfect for them. You mentioned the quarterbacks. What are some of the storylines nationally you're most excited about going into this year?
That's my main one, and really seeing how some of these top tier programs that are having to replace them, how successful they are and how quickly they are successful. Notre Dame being another one. We didn't even mention Notre Dame. I'm really interested to see what Miami looks like, because I think we're all getting a little fatigued on they're recruiting well and they're developing players and this and that. Okay, great, but are they winning the conference? Are they winning big games? Are they making the college football playoffs? So far, the answer is no, right? And I think Carson Beck is a great addition for them, but you talk about somebody that is going to be totally different from what they were a year ago in terms of style and substance. The position is just going to be played a different way than it was, under Cam Ward. I think it's a huge year for Mario Cristobal. I'm really interested to see how SC under Lincoln Riley finally make a step, and then even more importantly is how does Nico Iamaleava play at UCLA with average players around him?
Yeah,
because he just left a program with good or elite players to a total rebuild, and now as a result of that, he's going to be expected to play above and beyond what he showed a year ago. And can he do that?
Did his dad say Tennessee needed to upgrade their roster, Tom?
Well, yeah, exactly. Apparently they don't have good enough players there. And that's dude, 11 of your however many touchdowns that you threw were against UTEP, Kent State, and Chattanooga.
Right. By the way, that was one of my omissions when I was talking about SEC quarterbacks a year ago that were disappointing. Yeah. Nico's there. They won games clearly running the ball, ground and pound, dominating offensive line, dominating back. But on the subject of Tennessee, you're the son of a coach. And here's my theory on every coach in the sport is going to be pulling for Joey Aguilar at Tennessee, and I'll tell you why.
Oh my
God! You know where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you, and I've heard people say, well, they should have just given him whatever he wants because clearly Nico's better than Joey Aguilar. If you let players literally do NFL-style holdouts around spring football and basically hold your program hostage for more money at that point, if that becomes a trend, then this becomes an even more just cluster you-know-what of a wild, wild west scenario. I think every coach in the sport and administrators and a lot of other people are like, look, I might not like Tennessee, but I don't want to see people saying, well, they should have just given Nico whatever he wants.
I thought we had a moratorium on talking about this nonsense.
Well, no, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking specifically about a player, not so much. But you're right. I didn't mean to.
It's about Joey Aguilar.
It's more about Joey Aguilar.
So I broadcasted 3 of his games. I used to do those Sunbelt midweek games, and he is. First of all, I love watching him because he's like a grip it and rip it riverboat gambler. Sociopathic mentality, meaning like he feels no guilt or remorse for any decision he makes. Like he's got the shortest memory, but for every spectacular, because he's got a strong arm and he can make some spectacular throws, and then he'll make some just boneheaded plays, but then he doesn't care. He just lines up and plays again. And I love that about him. So like, I will be really surprised if he doesn't have as good, if not better, a year than Nico had a year ago. I'd be surprised if that doesn't happen. I mean, you're right. Everybody in America is cheering for him. How about what Nico's brother did to Arkansas?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, come on, man.
I mean, that was worse than, and
I'm glad the AD's suing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a straight, the kid committed their sight unseen anyway. Which
straight
is a red flag.
Felice.
It's a red flag anyway. I think Tennessee people I talked to are worried about their receiving core. They don't, but it's just surprising to me that they have questions there given the style of offense. But
I know it is.
They're worried about it.
And I tell you what, that guy coaches offense really well. And that offense has been such a plug and play over the years.
Yeah.
The one guy throws 40 touchdowns, the next guy shows up, he throws 40 touchdowns. Unless you're Joe Milton, then you overthrow 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, dude, Joe Milton, he's moon ball because it goes to the moon.
Hey, by the way, how bad are things in Indianapolis when Daniel Jones beats out Anthony Richardson?
And
why is anybody surprised about that? Anthony Richardson
shouldn't be.
He completed 53% of his passes in college.
He was not good there.
51 years old. I could maybe do that right now.
We have Shane Matthews on every now and then. I go on his show every now and then.
Yeah.
He watched him in high school.
I did too.
And he said, I'm telling you right now, he can't read defenses. He's not accurate. And Brian Baldinger is a guy I worked with on some NFL games.
Yeah.
And he's entrenched in all those, the combine and Indy and everything else. And we're texting back and forth. And he'll ask me every now and then, just my take, not that it's worth 2 cents. He was talking about Anthony Richardson. He's like, Mike, this guy's unbelievable. He's 6'4", and he's 2, and he can do backflips, and he's chiseled, and you should have seen him throw. I said, dude,
who cares?
He can't play.
Yeah.
He can't at that level where everything has to be on time and you have to make reads, pre-snap. Good luck with that. And the Colts spent a top 10 pick on him.
I know, because they get so enamored with physical attributes, and then ego comes into play. And so, we can fix him.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No,
it's like I can fix it.
Yeah,
I can fix it.
I can fix it. I got a great set of tools, bro.
Like your Coldplay song.
My dad's a TV repairman.
My dad's a TV repairman.
Do those even exist anymore?
No. Another famous movie, TV repairman, Mr. Mom.
Oh,
a woman came over to check.
What do you do? 220? 220,
221, whatever it takes. Yeah. That's a dime piece.
That's one of the greatest movies of all time, by the way.
100%.
The whole discussion about giving up the whoopee.
Yes.
The drug dealing discussion with the little kid. Oh my God, dude. Next thing you know, you graduate to a quilt, then an Afghan.
Yeah.
Next you know, you're on the streets.
It's a slippery slope. There's no doubt about that. We asked you this last year, and if I was a a better host here, I would have written it down and had you on record. Conference champions for the Power Four. Have you given this any thought here on August the 20th? Is that too? Are you waiting for last second information, or do you have some strong views on this?
I think first of all, the Big 12 is a total toss-up
every year. I think it's going to be like that's the most exciting league for that reason.
It's going to be in every game. There's going to be more mark it down. There'll be more one possession games in the Big 12 than any other conference.
Yeah,
like that thing is going to just be a track meet.
Including Auburn, Baylor.
I would probably say Kansas State, Big 12, Clemson, ACC, Texas, SEC. And even though the quarterback's young, I'm going to say Ohio State, Big 10.
Wow. They lost a lot.
I know, but they've also got a lot back.
But they always have a lot back.
They got dudes, man. They don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah.
That's Kansas State. I like that pick. It feels to me like Kansas State will win.
They're really good. I had them in the bowl game. But they're really good. I think that's going to be a fun conference to watch all year long.
I mentioned this to Mike last week. I think the game in Dublin is like a battle of two of the more underappreciated coaches nationally.
Totally.
I mean, I think those two guys, we see all these coach rankings. I think those two guys, they're usually in there, but they should be higher. Those guys, Kansas State, nobody thought anybody could win at K-State but Snyder.
Yeah.
And Klein's done different. And then Matt Campbell speaks for himself.
So, you always hear that term fit. Like when you look at those two coaches and then you look at the institution, like, could there be a better fit? Like those guys are exactly what those two programs are all about. Like they just look in the mirror at each other. Right?
Yeah.
Perfect fit.
No, you and I have done some MAC games. The beauty of that league is that no one really has immense resources over the other. It's kind of a level playing field.
Exactly. And it's whoever has the quarterback.
Well, of course.
You could take all of those teams and change their uniforms and not be able to tell an ounce difference between
it's like a bunch of two-star kids going up against two-star kids.
Yeah.
And even the quarterback spot, like the days of Ben Roethlisberger, Lord knows if he did play at Miami of Ohio now, he would have hit the portal and he would have been long gone. But I look at the Big 12 in a similar fashion in that the great coaches will rise to the top there because for the most part, it's pretty level. Right? Yeah. There is no Texas or Ohio State Big 12 that has met, and there is no I can't say Vanderbilt anymore because they're actually pretty good right now. But there's no Northwestern. Right. You take your pick. There's no school that's just way below the rest of the pale in terms of resources and everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let the best coaching job and performance on the field win as opposed to, well, this guy's got 105 stars and this one doesn't.
Yeah, there's nobody that's just flat out better than everybody else.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's great.
They've all had their moments. Everybody in that league at one. Desert Swarm at Arizona State with Jake the Snake Plummer. And then this past year, Kansas when Mangino was there, K-State. Mm-hmm. Iowa State, UCF had an undefeated season.
TCU for over 20 years.
Dude, I'll take you back to Major Harris at West Virginia.
Oh, look at you, West by God, Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia is like the number 25 most winning program in the history of college football. Yeah. Cincinnati went to a college football playoff in the 4-team format.
Baylor had good years.
Colorado won the national title. BYU's a legacy power, and Utah.
Think if they had their quarterback back.
Oh man!
And now Tulane sitting there going, "We just lost Darian Mintz, and now we got Jake Retzlaff."
Yeah,
Provo to New Orleans, lifestyle change. Boy.
That premarital sex will get you every time. I know we got to get you out in a couple of minutes. First off, I have to ask, how many times have you seen Jaws and the 50-year anniversary since we spoke to you last?
Since you spoke to me last,
I mean, it's been a few months.
I've watched the documentary and then I've watched the movie 4 times. I was so pissed off at how bad Superman was that I came home and I turned on Jaws to make me feel better.
To make you feel better.
I did. I literally did. My wife looked at me. She's like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Was it bad?" I sat in my recliner and I didn't even answer her. I took the remote, went click, and I turned on Jaws and she just started dying laughing.
Honey, leave me alone. Ben Gardner's boat is about to pop up. I've got. So I have a friend who's a mortgage broker. He literally took a 2-week tour of where every scene of that movie was filmed for the
on
50th.
Martha's Vineyard.
On Martha's Vineyard.
But did he take a tour of editor Verna Field's backyard pool?
That I don't know. That's next level. I got to connect with him on that.
You know what I'm getting at there, right? You know what that is, right?
No.
So when Ben Gardner's head pops through the hull of the boat,
right, scariest scene in the movie.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss has the shark tooth in his hand. He drops it because it startles him so bad. They couldn't get that scene right on site. The editor, went into her backyard, got in the pool, poured milk in the pool to make it murky, and that scene is shot in the editor's backyard in her pool.
I've never heard that story, and I thought I knew everything that there was to know about it.
Well, you didn't watch the Jaws at 50 Hulu documentary.
No, I've seen documentaries on Jaws, but not that one.
The one on Hulu's great. They just released it, I think, like last month.
It's on Hulu?
They talk about it, yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
It's fantastic. You got to watch
no more.
Yeah, that was done in a pool.
I did not know that. That is fantastic. Yeah, I was talking the other day about I'm streaming everything. I'm a member of every streaming service.
Yeah,
it's starting to get a little expensive.
It's sickening. Yeah,
and Netflix. I was getting on Netflix. I was like, you got to do better, Netflix. Like occasionally a good doc. I'm watching the Jerry Jones, the America's Team or whatever it is now. Pretty good, by the way. I'm on the episode 3. But I'm like, the movies, you got to step up your game. If you're going to get $20 a month, you gotta. There's too much competition. Well, apparently they heard me, and I mean, this is just here lately. Varsity Blues,
fantastic.
Wyatt Earp,
yep.
Blow,
Great
American
movie.
Gangster, Karate Kid, Midnight Run.
Oh, one of the best.
Come on,
that's Dave Pash's favorite movie.
Is this more on number 1? Put more on number 2 on the phone. He doesn't like to fly. American Pie.
Okay.
Slapshot.
Oh, the Caddyshack of hockey.
The Great Outdoors. Another John Hughes masterpiece.
Yeah.
Animal House. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh.
Tommy Boy.
Oh, man.
Anchorman. And Blow. There's a lot of fivers and a lot of dimers in that group. So Netflix, you've got me back.
But I will give Netflix credit in this one area. At least when they release a good show, they release it all so you can watch it. All of these other streaming devices just refuse to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that gets frustrating.
That does.
Yeah.
I'm a
By the
binge
way,
guy.
the new Alien series, Alien Earth on FX, is friggin' awesome.
You love the sci-fi stuff.
I love everything.
We have so much in common, and then you go sci-fi on me, and I'm like, I just
can't do sci-fi.
I like it there.
I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm not a Star Trek guy.
Me too. There you go.
I'm
JC.
like more Star Wars.
Okay, when I say that to you, you say that. So does that mean that you don't like Interstellar or Inception?
No,
Didn't see either
I
one.
love those
Nolan
movies.
movies?
All the Christopher Nolan. Oh, Mike. Okay.
No, you and JC are simpatico on this. You guys would probably love the same sci-fi films.
Oh,
I
yeah.
typically just stay away.
Oh my God, you're missing out, brother.
Yeah. I'd rather watch Jaws for the 77th time than a new sci-fi movie. That's how I'm very predictable. Lugs, you are not predictable. So again, tell the folks, where can we see you here next?
Oh God. Monday and Tuesday, College Football Live. Monday night, ACC PM. Sports Center on Thursday night game. ACC Network Friday night. ACC Network Saturday, and Sports Center hits on Saturday and Sunday.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
That's I think that's your busiest schedule yet.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the sport. The more Luginbill for me, the
I don't know about that.
He's a great American. I love it.
Oversaturation.
America has spoken. More Lugs. Clearly. More Lugs, period. Well, no, that's great. That's exciting. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you. And we'll try to check in maybe at least once during the year, although I know that might be an almost impossibility with that schedule, but we'll certainly give our best effort. And I know you'll give your best effort behind each and everything that you're a part of this season. Luke's always a pleasure, my friend. You are one of our favorites and one of our audience's most favorite guests, so we appreciate the time.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a wonderful season. Enjoy it.
Same to you.
See ya.
He's Tom Luginbill. You know him. You love him. Friend of the program here on JC and Morgan. We got the JC5 coming up, too.
Yeah. Never thought that guy I was watching on Thursday night play for Georgia Tech during the Bill Lewis era after Bobby Ross left for the Chargers.
Yeah.
I saw Tom play one Thursday night when I was a kid. Never thought I'd know that man. And I remember watching his dad, Al, coach for San Diego State, also on Thursday night games quite frequently. And then San Diego State would get the 10 o'clock kickoff some nights on a regular ESPN, which is all we had to watch. We didn't have streaming at the time. So,
do you think there's a generation that doesn't realize how good Marshall Faulk was?
Yes. Now there is. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, no.
My goodness. Yes. Now, yes.
I did a poll the other day and found out that like 58% of our audience was not even born in 1991.
Oh, man.
Well, that's good because we're going to have jobs. You know,
that's true.
The kids like us, right?
The kids think we're hip, man.
Yeah, we're legend. We're like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly is to all the millennials. Yeah, those guys are older than we are, but boy, millennials, like Step Brothers is the best movie ever. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
you ever been on a Bonita run? Don't be mad at him because he ruined the story and possibly the whole evening. Great line. All right, JC5, another morale boosters coming up on the other side as we take a timeout. Mad Dog, this is the official Take a Timeout segment. Back with more JC and Morgan in a sec.
Welcome to Palm Casual Patio Furniture. Because we are the factory, Palm Casual has the ability to offer the highest quality outdoor furniture paired with world-class service. Since 1979, our factory showrooms have done our best to make the buying process as easy as possible for our customers. Our understanding of the many factors that go into your decision has helped us create our 30-day trial period that increases the level of comfort our customers feel during the shopping experience. Visit us in Somerville, Mount Pleasant, Myrtle Beach, and Bluffton, and online at palmcasual.com for our products and out-of-state locations. Go Gamecocks!
Hey, folks, want to tell you about our friends at Titan Construction Group really quick. They're a Mid-Atlantic-based general contractor, specializes in retail, restaurant, and office construction. TCG strives to separate itself from other general contractors by adding value every step of the process. From project budgeting to estimation, value engineering to construction, they focus on those relationships and not the transaction. Titan builds partnerships one project at a time. Among their clients are Starbucks, Crumble Cookie, Blake Pizza, Home Goods, 15 plus years experience, based in Midlothian, Virginia, and contracted in Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So get on their website, TitanCGinc.com. That's TitanCGinc.com. Get in touch with Brad if you're in need of a general contractor that focuses on going above and beyond for their clients. That's Titan Construction Group, a proud sponsor of the JC and Morgan podcast.
We're passionate about making sure that the Nest and Wild mattress is the best it can be. Made well and made right here in Tupelo, Mississippi. So how can we do all that? Work. Hard work. And that means something. The Nest and Wild mattress is a movement. It's a pride in where you come from and where you're going. So get comfortable, because this movement is just beginning.
This is JC and Morgan on the Chief Sports Network.
College football forever.
And we are back on another installment of JC and Morgan, number 283, if you're scoring at home, in our 10th year of existence. A lot of other exciting stuff about this year for us with the website and everything else that we'll tell you about after the JC5. Again, we are presented and powered by Advocare, advocare.com for all of your needs. You want daily vitamins, you got them. You want gummies that help you sleep. Some of our audience members have commented on that. It actually works. They've got it. You got probiotics, you got it. You got energy, you got it. You got a much better alternative to Gatorade, you got it. Advocare.com, and you got a 20% off discount, promo code Mike Morgan. With that being said, the morale of a great nation, as always, resides in the confines of the one and only JC5.
It's time for the top topics in the sport. We bring the JC5. Number 1.
Okay, Michael. It got a little weirder at Auburn this past week.
See, I can't predict what you're going to do with the JC5, and it's part of what I love about it. I have no idea what you're going to hit me over the head with, much like our audience. But I knew this was coming.
This was kind of an all. I mean, it may not have been number one in some circumstances, but it's the first thing that popped in my head. And we talked about it on other shows. Here's the thing. There was a good column. Was it Matt Hayes actually wrote "It's Over" column. It was somebody else said, "Look, they just need to go win football." I think Jake Crane made the point. Look, this is going to be talked about, but you just got to go win, and people are going to shut up about it. But the minute Auburn loses one game, the golf and the three-headed play caller and all that. I've never heard of this setup before. Then Hugh says something else that everybody gets all up in arms about using different quarterbacks. And people need to understand that that's not unprecedented. At Ole Miss, he did the same thing when he had Swag Kelly. They had like a big guy and another inside the 10 guy. I was surprised he didn't use multiple quarterbacks at Auburn last year. He did use Robbie Ashford in that manner. So that's not as unprecedented as this play caller thing. Auburn's weird anyway. I mean, you talk to anybody in Alabama, they're like, oh, we don't know really what's going on there, but we love our Tigers, War Eagle. Do you think this matters, or is it really just going to come down to the much needed marriage between Jackson Arnold and Hugh Freeze and how the Tigers play this year?
Yeah. And just to catch everybody up, what JC's talking about there's a report that came out. I can't remember the writer, but a beat writer that basically was interviewing their offensive coordinator in title, Derek Nix, who was a longtime assistant at Ole Miss, that he's quoted as saying, yeah, I'm going to be in charge of the first down, and then another guy's going to be in charge of the second down, and Hugh's got the third down, to which Lane Kiffin trolled and said, yeah, who's got the fourth down calls? I don't entirely buy that that's the way it's going to go. I don't think that's really, and I don't have evidence of that. I know Derek Nix quite well, and I don't want to ask him because he knows what I do for a living and he doesn't want that on the air anyway. So I'm just going to let it be. I have a hard time believing that they're literally going to hold every game to, oh, it's 1st and 10. Derek, this is your call. Oh, it's 2nd down. Hey, this is your call. It's 3rd down. Hugh, what do you got? At the end of the day, you don't hire Hugh Freeze without being involved in every call. That takes the value away from Hugh Freeze, right? The buck stops with Hugh. If the offense isn't humming, you can't blame it on Derek Nix. You can't. I forget the other guy's name. JC, the other guy, second down guy. Yeah, I think that's
second down guy.
The second down guy. Well, I don't. Maybe you disagree. I have a hard time thinking that that's literally how they're going to do it. There might be some offset of that where they divvy up the play calling, but I really don't think there's a first down guy, a second down guy, and a third down guy.
In game, and look, maybe what was meant by it, and I'm just speculating. I have no knowledge as to what's going on in this situation. It may be that sometimes head coaches that also call plays when things aren't going well, they have egos like everybody else, and they're like, well, maybe I need help. And we saw it with Gus Malzahn. We saw it with Steve Spurrier in the pros and at South Carolina. We saw it. We've seen it. Lane Kiffin, they say he calls plays, but he'll tell everybody Charlie Weiss calls the plays. So right. The operationally though, what they do during the week, and it may be this, Derek Nix is responsible for looking at the tendencies on first down of the other team and formulating a menu of plays that he thinks will work. In other words, the scout. And GAs usually do the scout and things like that. But what they do is they come up with plays during the week that they rep that they think will work on every down and distance. Then they narrow it down to what's working in practice, and they put it on a play sheet and they go call it. The good ones do. There's some offensive play callers that are insane and come out there with a 5-page play sheet, and those are usually called bad college play callers. And so that's how they do it. So maybe it's a situation where just the responsibilities are divided up. In other words, but Hugh's going to pick from the menu. You know what I'm saying? Like Eric creates the first down menu, but if it's steak or lobster, Hugh Freeze, with help from up above and look at the defense, is going to make the decision. Maybe that's it. And
I think that's exactly it. I think you just nailed it. I think you just nailed it. Yes.
It's probably not it at all. I mean, it's probably that they're like, all right, Derek, give me a first down run.
Yeah. I don't even know if operationally that could work where I mean, the game goes so fast now. You really see it where they're all sitting around going, oh, what is it? Oh, there's a penalty. So now it's 2nd and 17 instead of 2nd and 2. Where's our second down guy? And like Hugh's just going to sit back with his arms folded and have no opinion. No. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Number 2.
All right. Either or. Who will get a head coaching job first? Jimbo Fisher or Ed Orgeron? 2 national championship winning coaches.
Oh, I'm going Jimbo here. You know, Jimbo is going to be with the worldwide leader this year. He's going to do some TV on the ACC network. I should ask Lugs about that. I think Jimbo will be fine on TV, but he wants to coach. That money, that exorbitant $76 million buyout, that money's intact. So in other words, sometimes if you take another job, what do you call that, mitigation or whatever, where you lose some of the buyout because you took another job. There's none of that here. He's getting all that money, if he hasn't already, and he can still work somewhere else. And Jimbo was very quick. I read the quote the other day on another show. You know, his age, he's still got plenty of coaching ability. He reminded people he did some good things, which he did. Look, he won a national championship at Florida State. They played for another one at Florida State. They weren't terrible at A&M. They just, I mean, they had a 9-1 COVID year, and they just never really, they did A&M things. They hovered around 8 wins every year, right? Until the wheels came off. And what was the worst loss was the Group 5 loss. I can't remember who it was, but anyway, I think he's coaching next year, and I think somebody will hire him. And I think he's got more, as much as you and I love Coach O, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
I just think Jimbo is a more sellable product to a fan base if you're an AD looking to make a hire.
I just got an email from betonline.ag, first Power 4 coach to be fired. Brent Brennan at Arizona leading the way, 4-1. Venables next, 6-1. Pry at Virginia Tech, 7-1. Pittman, 7-1. Hugh Freeze at Auburn, 8-1. Wow. Arizona could probably hire Jimbo, or would probably be interested. He's not getting Oklahoma, in my opinion.
No.
Virginia Tech's intriguing for him. Arkansas, probably not. Now, Auburn's interesting because if it does open, they're going to divert back to their buddies like they always do. You know, and even Hugh was a Southerner, but wasn't really their buddy. You know, Jimbo and Auburn, he was at Auburn for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Every time the jobs come open, people have talked about that. I'd keep an eye on that if things go south with Hugh Freeze. Of those gigs. As far as Orgeron goes, if I'm Oklahoma State, I'm hiring him. Because he'll recruit his butt off, build a defensive line in that league, and probably hire a good offensive coordinator.
That's the key with him.
Yeah, I mean, just hire good guys. So,
just hire great coordinators, bring in talent.
I doubt they will, but I do hope to see both of those guys get back into coaching.
Number 3.
Speaking of back into coaching, speaking of UNLV, which also almost hired Ed Orgeron, but hired Barry Odom instead. He's off to Purdue. The Dan Mullen return to coaching is Saturday, week 0 against a rebuilding Idaho State team. The game is not on television, Mike. How rare I mean, there's a lot of FCS games on television too this weekend, not on television. I'd tune in because I'm a closet UNLV fan, and also because I want to see what Dan's doing. I mean, you know, how rare is it these days, even for a Mountain West program, to not have a game on TV?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a slight on the opponent. If UNLV played another Group 5 team, I think some network would pick this up. But UNLV, Idaho State, and you're right, a lot of these games are still on TV. If it was an SEC school, guarantee you, it'd be on SEC Plus or something. But yeah, that is rare. I guess they just decided this one doesn't quite pass the smell test. And I mean, hell, Stanford, Hawaii's on TV. You got some less than stellar games that are getting national exposure. But plenty of UNLV games will be on TV this year. You know, the Mountain West and the slash pack, whenever that's going to be. I've checked out on that whole thing because it's just so confusing about what they want. But I think the pack now, everybody's got to have state next to their name to be in that league, right? Isn't that it's Washington State, it's Oregon State, it's Texas State. Like everybody's got state.
State. I think Sac State. Watch out for that program. They got a good coach. UNLV's OC from last year, Brendan Marion, got his own offense. Hired a good staff.
Yeah.
Remember, we've been talking about them a little bit. The Sacramento.
Remember, I had their
Hornets.
Stadium behind me because
they
pulled off that massive upset.
They want to win. So we'll see. Kind of what happens there.
But no, I think Dan Mullen is. You talk Group 5 here for a second. One of the most intriguing storylines. Dan Mullen did as good a job as any coach has ever done in Mississippi State, and he didn't exactly fail in Gainesville. So that's a guy that is ready to take another job. UNLV is no knock on that job, but he is ready. If he can somehow sneak into a playoff in year 1, he gone. He's getting a Power 4 job somewhere.
Unless there's Dan Mullen's interesting as far as hiring goes. But there is a lot of talk, and one of the reasons they said they did not leave the Mountain West for the newly formed Pac-12 was because they feel like they're in a good spot to get a Big 12 invite, which would be transformational for them. And so, because there's more money than they have that's going to come rolling in. And if I'm Dan Mullen and I'm in a Power 4 and I can recruit to Las Vegas, and I don't know, maybe
I like where your head's at there, and I think UNLV would be a great fit for the Big 12.
But you're right, dude. Because I mean, what if Arizona calls? He's gone.
Gone. You know, UNLV is always going back to Randall Cunningham, is always one of these intriguing programs where you just say, you know, maybe they could be, and then it doesn't happen. Like years ago, people would have put their chips on the table for UNLV over UCF. I mean, UCF was just toiling away in 1AA and then Conference USA, and before you knew it, they're in the Big 12. And UNLV, during all that time, has just kind of spun its wheels in a lot of ways. So we'll see.
Number 4.
All right, so you mentioned Stanford and Hawaii, and Stanford made some news over the summer. Andrew Luck fired Troy Taylor, who used to coach at Sac State. A lot of callbacks right there. As the head coach, Luck comes in. They got Frank Reich taking over. Stanford's been relevant. I want to go across the bay to Cal. I can't even believe they're in the ACC, more so than Stanford, right? I started looking, why is Cal not very good? And when Justin Wilcox has been coaching his butt off, they still kind of struggle. They lost their top running back to Oklahoma.
Love Jay Knott.
I didn't know Fernando Mendoza, who went to Indiana, is some. What was it? McShay had him as a first rounder in next year's draft, late first round. But I mean, led them to a win over Auburn last year. Speaking of dysfunction at Auburn, they play in a beautiful stadium. I started looking at their alumni. There's a lot of people that are legit in the sport that have gone to Cal. let's say you were the Andrew Luck of Cal, which is Ron Rivera, by the way, the Riverboat Gambler. He's the GM.
Right.
What, not trying to say fire Wilcox or anything. How would you get that going? I mean, because they've been good. The problem is they just lose guys. I remember Bruce Snyder had a great team there, program in the 80s. Arizona State calls him up. Hey, I'm gone. How would you get that going? Because they're buddies. They're a rival across the bay with arguably less support, like less interest in Stanford football because it's a private school and smaller and all that than the University of California. They've somehow made it succeed in a big way through the years. And I just don't, what would you do? And I know what you're fighting at that school, but there's been too many good players and too many good moments for it to not be consistent.
Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch,
Jared Goff. Lots of good alums in football that have come through the University of California.
It's the only thing I can say is there's kind of a pecking order out there. Everybody's looking at the North Star of the West Coast programs, particularly the California ones in Southern Cal. And if they don't start moving the needle, it's a huge year for Lincoln Riley and Southern Cal, the program, because it's not just as simple as, well, he's on, then we'll put him on the hot seat and then we'll fire him. First off, financially, I don't think that's even in the cards. Secondly, then what? If they can't get it going, the knock on UCLA has always been from alums. Like, we've got an alum in Atlanta that used to do radio, Randy Cross, former offensive lineman for the 49ers. He'd always just say, we're too damn cheap. Too damn cheap. We don't spend enough money. Maybe that's changed a bit at UCLA now, but they've been below mediocre. So if those two programs can't get it going, how am I supposed to expect Cal and Stanford to get it going, JC? I think my first question would be, if I were doing an autopsy on Cal football, would be, okay, are the financial resources there? I really don't know the answer to that. And then secondarily, you got to get the right coach. I don't know if they have him now. You've got to get a guy who's got to be able to do more with less. Because Cal, when they were in the pack, with the exception of those few like highlight players we just talked about, they were never the most talented team by any stretch. They were usually like middle of the pack, right? So it's tough.
I forgot Marshawn Lynch. It was a Cal Bear as well.
Yeah.
I met him in Oakland one time. For those that don't know, Palo Alto is more on the San Francisco side. Berkeley's on the Oakland side.
Palo Alto's beautiful. Never been to Berkeley. Oakland.
Berkeley's like 1968 came and time stopped. In a lot of ways. Final one, number 5, Kansas Jayhawks play Fresno State. That's my second game of the weekend. Fresno State, Matt Ince, or Ernst. Is it Matt? Oh, shoot, I wrote that down. Matt E. He was on Southern Cal staff last year, former head coach at North Dakota State. Fresno State with another fantastic coach. Same program had Kalen DeBoer. Against the Jayhawks, who are opening their rebuilt stadium. We forgot they didn't have a home last year.
Right.
Your thoughts on Kansas possibly being, because Tom mentioned Daniels. I thought they were one of the best teams in the Big 12 second half. They just dug a hole at 1-6.
Yeah.
But not they were the angels of death to a lot of programs down the stretch. What kind of, just since they're playing, can Kansas
I'll just say this
back?
quickly. I'm going to break our no finances rule just to point out their sugar daddy just dropped another check for $300 million.
Yeah.
They were a major disappointment. I think part of the problem was they didn't have any home games, right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's when you have to get in a bus and go to some other stadium for your home games. That's a big deal. So I'm not saying it's all on that, but I do think that's a factor. I expect them to bounce back somewhat this year in the always unpredictable Big 12 conference. But I would just leave it at that on the Kansas side. Was there another part of that question? I forgot.
No, that's it. Yeah, we get to see him play. And Fresno State's got a new coach. So
Fresno,
State, Kansas.
I always love Fresno. Fresno just seems like a cool place to go to school and to play football.
They're going to the Pac-12. Jerry Tarkanian in basketball was Fresno State alum, and after he got run off of UNLV, was the coach there.
Found a home there. Didn't Trent Dilfer go to Fresno?
Yes. There's a guy on a hot seat.
Yeah, we had UAB, who has a new stadium, but I'm not sure if it's making a huge difference. All right, we are smack dab out of time. Our thanks again to Lugs. JC gave everybody the 411 on the website, which is making tremendous strides.
collegefootballforever.com. You can go there, and it's redesigned. Find us, college football tidbits and blog entries, video highlights from our shows, including this one and SEC Sunday nights. Please check out SEC Sunday night. It's on Sunday nights, obviously, at 8, streaming on the Chief Sports app. But collegefootballforever.com, that is our website. So you can check out highlights, short form videos, all that good stuff if you want to. Oh, and you should want to.
And you should want to. You'll feel better about yourself and humanity. The glossary will be up there. Maybe we'll sneak some fiver and dimers up there. We'll have some fun with that in due time as the season moves along. Well, my friend, we are there. We'll next time we're on, we will actually literally have games to discuss.
Yes.
So we'll be a little less guest heavy throughout the rest of the year, and we've got a lot of things to chop up each and every week, and we invite everybody to do it.
Yep, new day.
Yes.
Starting next week, Tuesdays. Tuesday morning for the live stream. Pod will be up Tuesday afternoon throughout the college football season.
Yes, we'll be more consistent. We know a lot of you, because we bounce around, listen to this not live, but eventually we love the live audience and the interaction. But now you'll know, set your calendar, set your alarms Tuesday mornings. All right, for Tom Luginbill, our guest, for the Mad Dog, Phil Molinax, and for JC. This is Mike saying so long. Episode 283 and year number 10 is in the books, and we'll see you next week.